She didn't yell. She didn't grandstand. Tammy Baldwin did something far more dangerous. She forced the truth out. And what she exposed about children's health and hidden federal cuts should alarm every American parent.
Senator Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Kennedy, you run a department that touches the lives of almost every American. Yet, for this budget hearing, these are the 6 pages that we have gotten in terms of your budget request. We are also 7.5 months into this fiscal year, and yet you are not telling the American public anything about how you are spending the billions in taxpayer dollars right now. You had to submit an operating plan to the Congress, and this is just a sample page, but 530 programs simply have asterisks. Secretary Kennedy, this isn't about your hiding information from me. This is about your hiding information from the American public. And if you're going to cut cancer research or gut mental health support, at least stand by your work and explain it to the American people. Now, Secretary Kennedy, I want to start with what I hope is an easy question for you. Do you think lead poisoning in children is a significant concern?
Is lead poisoning
In children, a significant concern?
It's a extremely significant concern.
Thank you. Then I would like to know why your department has effectively shut down the very program to address lead poisoning in children. The city of Milwaukee requested assistance from the CDC to help the city respond to lead poisoning cases tied to public schools. 6 schools have been closed, displacing more than 1,800 school children. The request for federal assistance was denied because of lack of staff. The entire childhood lead poisoning branch has been fired. In the words of a Milwaukee mom, it really sends a message of, you don't matter. I don't know what you would say to parents who must now test their children for lead and deal with school closures. But do you intend to eliminate this branch at CDC, yes or no?
No, we do not.
Okay. Because you cannot tell us that you want to make America healthy again when you are willfully destroying programs that keep children safe and healthy from lead poisoning. Congress dedicated $51 million in funding for this particular program. But when a community asks for help to prevent lifelong complications for children, and there is no one there to pick up the phone, and it's not because this program is ineffective, it's because you fired the entire team whose job it is to support communities like Milwaukee.
If that money has been appropriated, we will spend that money. If it's been appropriated to Milwaukee, we will spend it in Milwaukee. I've spent a lot of time in Milwaukee
It's to
working on
provide
that issue.
expert, and the entire staff has been fired. Secretary Kennedy, I did note in your opening testimony, although we wouldn't know it from the skinny budget that we have, that you plan on funding the Head Start program. But I want to tell you about the ramifications of what has happened to date with regard to Head Start. I've heard from families across the state, people who are terrified about the uncertainty and instability surrounding Head Start. Just 1 week into President Trump's administration, Head Start programs in Wisconsin suddenly couldn't access their grant funding. It forced one Head Start in Waukesha, Wisconsin to temporarily close, leaving 250 families without care. Over the last 4 months, HHS has provided roughly $1 billion less to Head Start programs across the country than during the same period last year. The delays in funding have exacerbated uncertainty for programs needing to make payroll. And in some instances, like the one I cited in Waukesha, programs have had to shut their doors until the payments came through. Now, I don't know what you would say to a parent who is unable to drop their child off at preschool because you failed to get already appropriated money out the door. Or maybe I should ask you, what would you say to a parent who shows up for childcare or for Head Start and the doors are closed?
I would be very sad if somebody shut up. I fought very, very hard to make sure that there would be
What
no
is
cuts.
causing the delays in Head Start funding?
I fought I fought very hard to make sure that Head Start gets all of its funding next year.
Well, we need it this year, and why are there delays now?
I don't know that there are, Senator, and I will look into it, but I don't know. There should not be any delays. The funding is there. We are spending it. It's allocated. I don't know why there would be those kind of problems. I can tell you that within the agency, there were, there were people who wanted to make the Trump administration look bad, and that there were checks held up that shouldn't have been. I will have to look into that, Senator.
What this exchange reveals isn't just a tense budget hearing, it's a warning sign about how quietly democracy can be undermined when transparency disappears. Senator Tammy Baldwin understood that immediately, and she refused to let it slide. RFK Jr. runs a department that touches nearly every American life. Yet more than halfway through the fiscal year, Congress and the public still don't know how billions of taxpayer dollars are being spent. A 6-page budget request, hundreds of programs reduced to asterisks, no clear explanations, no accountability. That's not a paperwork issue. That's power being exercised without public consent. And Baldwin made the most important distinction of all. This isn't about information being hidden from senators. It's about information being hidden from the American people. In a democracy, voters have the right to know if cancer research is being cut, if mental health services are being reduced, or if public health protections are being dismantled. Silence isn't neutrality, it's concealment. Then Baldwin brought the conversation back to where it belongs. Children. She forced RFK Jr. to acknowledge that lead poisoning in children is a serious and lifelong health threat. And then she exposed the contradiction. If it's such a serious concern, why was the CDC's childhood lead poisoning program effectively shut down? Why was the entire team fired? Why did Milwaukee, dealing with lead exposure in public schools, get denied federal assistance because there was no one left to answer the phone? 6 schools closed, more than 1,800 children displaced, parents scrambling to protect their kids from irreversible harm. When a Milwaukee mother says this sends the message that you don't matter, that isn't politics, that's reality. And the funding was already there. Congress appropriated $51 million for this exact purpose. The failure wasn't money, it was leadership. The same story plays out with Head Start. Parents across Wisconsin and the country suddenly couldn't access childcare they depend on. Programs delayed funding, payroll uncertainty, centers closing their doors with no warning, families showing up and being turned away. Nearly $1 billion less delivered compared to the same period last year, even though Congress approved the funds. When asked why, the answers were confusion and deflection. But for a parent who can't go to work because childcare vanished overnight, excuses don't pay the bills. This moment highlights the difference between democratic leadership and administrative chaos. Democrats believe government should work transparently, competently, and with human consequences front and center. Children's health and early education aren't political bargaining chips, they're responsibilities. Tammy Baldwin didn't just ask questions. She stood up for families who don't get to sit in that hearing room. And that's why this moment matters, because democracy erodes when information is hidden, and it survives when leaders demand the truth in public. If you care about children's health, working families, and a government that answers to the people, stay engaged. Share this video, subscribe to Blue Lens Politics, and keep demanding accountability, because silence is exactly what allows this kind of damage to continue.